People who were made to choose between your pet or your partner. How did your ex react when you chose your pet? Not directly relevant, but we once took in a dog, whose human was asked to make this choice. Beautiful Weimaraner. The guy brought the dog out to our house, on a hill in the woods with acres to roam. Dogs absolutely love it out here, and we spent some time walking around letting the dog get used to the place and meet our other furry residents. We could tell it was really hard on both of them when he left. The next day he kicked the woman out, and came back for the dog. Happy ending all around, I'd say. Reject woman, return for dog. My best friend, Forever's little brother got a rabbit this way. One of best friend, Forever's co-workers was told, not asked, told, by her boyfriend to get rid of her rabbit, so he could have a dog. She complied, and my best friend, Forever gave the rabbit to her little bro. Year goes by, and co-worker breaks up with the boyfriend. Little bro laughs in her face and said she'd already broken that little bunny's heart once, she wasn't getting a second chance. Little bunny lived for 7 years with little bro before age took it. Damn, lil bro is savage. This is my favorite story from when I worked in a shelter. A guy came in to surrender his cat, with the reason that his girlfriend didn't like her. He starts filling out the paperwork, but partway through he just stops and says, "Screw this. I'm just going to break up with her instead." He picks up the cat and walks out the door, presumably to leave his girlfriend. I hope he stuck to it and he and his cat got a happy ending. That guy and cat lived happily ever after. She acted as if she'd never even considered I'd choose the cat over her. I don't think that thought had ever entered her mind. Then she went into a big spiel about how I'm a loser, I'm missing out, there's only one of her, etc. etc. Yeah, I knew all that when I put my foot down over her idiotic jealousy of the cat liking me more than her. The cat is now 16 and still with me, happy in her senior years. There's been other women since her, ones that treated me a lot better than she did. It was a total win for both the cat and myself. It's a good thing there's only one of her, because she sounds like someone you wouldn't ever want to date again. She wasn't all bad. She had a temper, and had jealousy issues, which manifested as jealousy against a kitten/cat. I'm not doing a good job making her sound any better here, am I? Okay, yeah, she wasn't great. Funny thing about toxic people who say they're the only one and you won't find another like me. That's the point, I hope I won't shaking my head. I bred tarantulas professionally for a few years. Most were in a specially designed shed outside, but I had a few in the house. Was totally upfront with people when dating, and if it was a deal breaker, then no hard feelings. I dated this one guy for a few months, but we'd always go out or to his. I didn't really think much of it. Around month 4, he started getting annoyed and one day, straight up asked me how long it was going to take to sell a few spiders. I thought he was talking about my actual job, so I was like, "Oh, I sell them in bulk to a supplier. He's coming round on Tuesday, actually." And my boyfriend was so relieved, but I couldn't really understand why. So the dude comes round on Wednesday and sees the tarantulas in the house and goes on an absolute tirade about how I lied to him, how I've broken his trust, and how he's going to need time to heal. Not going to lie, I just burst out laughing. I was like, "You really thought I was going to give up my job for you?" Well, that was apparently not the reaction he expected. He stormed out, yelling about how I was such a dumb bitch for not realizing how great he was laughing my butt off. Tried to crucify me on social media, but he just ended up looking like an idiot laughing out loud. What kind of idiot doesn't get that when you say you breed an animal professionally that means that they're not just your pets and you will always have some around? Like, dude, they're your effing job, without them you have no money. I was more than happy to compromise, and put the ones in my house outside when people came over. But I wasn't going to get rid of 10,000 spiders and my livelihood for a 4-month relationship. 10,000 spiders. Laughing my butt off pics. Spider Brothers. Laughing my butt off Reddit has invoked the spider tax. 10,000 spiders. Girl, do you need a wheelbarrow for those balls? I respect and fear you laughing out loud. Right? I'm terrified of spiders. If I knew someone personally that had literally thousands of spiders at home, I would be so nervous around that person. In my mind, subconsciously, they would be a supervillain. What an idiot. My only request would have been that the ones in the house not be in the bedroom. Big nocturnal boy go shuffle shuffle. My biggest was 12 inches / a foot big. She made so much noise laughing my butt off. Plus, she liked getting the cat angry. They can be that big. Burgundy Goliath, Theraposa sturmi. There are 3 different Goliath species, and they all get about that big. That's hilarious. I had mice, and even without them running in their wheels, they were pretty loud just moving around in the bedding. Kept them in the living room so they wouldn't keep us up at night, also because it was warmer than the bedroom. I have about 1,000 questions, but none about the dumbass and all about breeding effing tarantulas. Honestly, not a profession that ever dawned on me. Good for you though. Edit, spelling. You're welcome to ask. It's been a few years since I retired, so I always love an excuse to talk about it, haha. 1. How do you get 2 to breed? 2. How many different breeds did you have? 3. Can different breeds be easily bred together? 4. Is there a risk of them eating each other or fighting? Edit, structure. Introduce the male to the female's tank, and be ready to grab him as soon as it's done. There are some great YouTube channels that show the actual deed. I've owned or bred at least 500 different species. It's generally frowned upon to breed different species. I certainly didn't, and didn't know anyone who did. Yep, they will fight and kill each other. Once they reach their second or third molt, you have to separate out each spider. Occasionally an adult female will eat a male after mating, but there are many ways to prevent this in captivity. Not me, but my sister chews our cat over her boyfriend of 4 months. He was furious when she dumped him and called her an idiot for picking a dirty flea bag over him. Cat was not a dirty flea bag. He just hated pets and wanted to try to control my sister. I was relieved when she dumped him. I never got good vibes from him. Jesus, I can't imagine having the gall to demand any kind of lifestyle change after only 4 months in a relationship, let alone one as major as getting rid of a pet. My ex asked me if she thought my dog liked me or her more, and I said me. She got genuinely mad and told me I am supposed to just lie to her. Didn't last long. Why would your dog like her better? Sounds like some entitlement. I remember him saying my diabetic cat needed to go so he could get a dog. We weren't even living together. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, my cat will outlive this relationship, considering she was really sick at the time he said it was unlikely, and stormed off. We broke up 6 years ago and my cat is still going strong. That's amazing. I'm worried about my cat getting diabetes because he's really resistant to being handled, and I think injections would be awful for him. But it's so good that she's doing so well. Pro tip: if your cat is diabetic, they get hungry. We poke ours when she's eating because she's single-minded at that point. No issues. In fact, she comes running when she hears the needle box rustling because she knows it means food. Yes. That's what my sister does, and her cat doesn't even notice. I did it for her when she was out of town though, and discovered I cannot handle doing it for some reason. It took months to stop having horrible flashbacks. No idea why it bothers me so much. I pushed through and told her next time she's got to get someone else. Not my story, but my friend. His girlfriend forced him to choose between her or dog, but that dog was remaining memento from his deceased mother, and of course, he instantly dumped his girlfriend. His girlfriend went from face full with expectations to beet red full of shame and anger, and smashed his house windows when she left his house. Hope she got arrested. He couldn't do anything to report police because he sells weed in his house, and I could smell weed if I visit him, and he don't want to police find out if you report to cops. I found out my girlfriend was hitting my dog when I wasn't around. I left her and she was unable to admit that was the reason. I guess answering the question of what happened to you guys. With he found out I was secretly hurting his dog might make for awkward conversations. How did you find out? I would reach out my hand to pet him and he would flinch. He also would try to avoid her, and if he couldn't he would go submissive. I finally asked because he was in a corner and she approached him and she raised her hand as if to hit him. I asked if she had been hitting him in the head and she said yes basically. She just used about 500 words to answer the yes or no question. Whoa, I'm not sure how I would handle that one. Breakup for sure, but that makes my blood boil. You can generally tell when someone's been hurting a dog or a cat based on his or her behavior towards that person. Like, if a dog that was previously super excited and happy to meet new people or interact with people that you bring over is now skittish and hides from specific people, or is suddenly aggressive towards them, there's a good chance that they've been hurt by that person or have seen that person hurting someone else, a child. I have a cat that has even placed himself between me and something that he thought was going to hurt me. It was the vacuum cleaner, but the thought was still there. Animals know when something is scary or dangerous, and will usually let you know how they feel about it in their own way. The cat placed himself between you and the vacuum cleaner. A true hero. Not one of my animals ever did this for me. My friend's dog used to actually attack the vacuum cleaner. There were tooth marks on the power head. They eventually just banished him to the yard when they were cleaning. People who were made to choose between your pet or your vacuum cleaner, how did your pet react when you chose your vacuum cleaner? The vacuum crapped on the floor as a sign of dominance. My blind cat just lays there so he can be vacuumed. He loves that thing. I have a cat that has even placed himself between me and something that he thought was going to hurt me. Laughing my butt off, my cat would sell me for a 30-second video of a bird. Get him an OnlyFans subscription. This happened to me too with a guy. I caught him on Arlo cameras after I changed the batteries which had been dead for the duration of the relationship. I had him arrested and he was charged with a felony. Mind you, my dog is 12 pounds, 13 years old, and blind. That's just effing evil. That dog, well, any dog, but that dog only deserved all the loves. Two friends of mine dated seriously years ago. Girl's cat had jealousy issues and peed on guy's shoes. Guy put cat in the bathtub and pissed on cat. Relationship didn't last much longer. Edit, I really should have mentioned that he was wearing the shoes when the cat did this. The cat pisses on my stuff and it's fine, but I piss on the cat and suddenly it's a huge deal. What a double standard. He should have pissed on the cat's shoes, not on the cat. That's where he went wrong. Piss in boots. Here I thought a kitten mittens joke would have been the winner. Well done. Years ago I was living with a friend that my girlfriend's cat did not like. Kept pissing on friend's clothes, so he pissed in the cat's litter box and made the cat watch. Dominance asserted, cat stopped its campaign of piss politics. Reminds me of George Clooney's story about taking a huge dump in his college, if I recall correctly, roommate's cat's litter box and trying to convince his roomie that his cat did it. Was friend and fellow actor Richard kind? Apparently, he kept scooping the poop from the litter and had he convinced the cat constipated or something else. Then left a huge human poop in the litter box. This dude I used to date had a cat who was so attached to him. Whenever I came over, she would get so jealous. I was nice to her, pet her, cuddled. But as soon as I'd show the dude attention, she would be so hurt and just leave the room. One morning I left to go to work to find a big puddle of cat piss in my shoe. I experienced a similar situation with a person I was dating, but instead of the cat peeing in my shoes, it pissed in the toaster after I made bagels. Trust me, you don't want to smell cat piss that's been warmed up in a toaster after you decide to go back for seconds. We had a dog who adored my dad. He would occasionally go to conferences, and she knew that meant he wouldn't be home. If she saw suitcases, she would poop directly on his pillow. I can't imagine the cat staying put anywhere long enough for someone to piss on it. It must have been more like, he held the cat over the tub and pissed on it with his free hand. The logistics of this situation will wear on my mind for days. Man, I bet she was pissed. Better to be pissed off than pissed on. Not exactly what you asked for, but I knew a couple that had to break up because she was badly allergic to his elderly dog. They were both understanding of the situation and theirs was no animosity. They ended up getting back together after the dog had passed away and are now very happy. Edit, for those asking, there was about a 2-year period between their breakup and reunion. She tries allergy treatments and they didn't work. No, He couldn't just leave his dog home alone all night and just spend time at her place. Dog died of cancer/old age around 12 years old. Neither was upset at the other during the breakup. It's truly a no buttholes here situation. I love this one. The dog got to live peacefully, with a happy ending in the end. Did they have communication between breaking up and getting back together? Yes. They remained friendly during the 2 years they were broken up. They dated other people between and got back together after they both were single and the dog had passed from natural causes. I'm just absolutely in love with this. Thank you for sharing. 2 hearts. Humans can communicate to each other. While if he were to leave his dog alone all night, the dog wouldn't understand. Especially with an older dog too, you're all they know. Aw, that makes me feel kind of nice. It also sounds like it could be a rom-com plot. Tagline: This ain't puppy love. A lot of very judgmental people in this thread seem to have forgotten that allergies are a thing. My wife is allergic to cats. So we don't have a cat. Her uncle is allergic to dogs. So the dog got grounded to another room while he visited. Sometimes a pet allergy is a deal breaker. My ex was allergic to cats, so I was disappointed that we would never have one, but accepted it. Then she wanted to get a dog when we moved in together and said one of us would have to work night shift, me, the hypothetical dog would never be alone. That was one of many deal breakers. Did she not realize that dogs actually sleep? Usually during the night when most humans do? If I stay up late watching TV or something, my dog gets annoyed with me because the light is on and he wants it out so he can go to sleep properly. Was getting a divorce and the ex-wife demanded my dog or she'd take me to court over the house. I reluctantly gave him to her. She called me 5 days after taking possession of him. He was chewing everything of hers, peeing all over her and her new boyfriend's house. I got him back and he never did any of that for me. Still have him and he is 15 years old now. I'm just glad she never put him down for doing that and returned your boy to you. I was thinking the same thing. Too many crazy stories out there. What a good boy. How much do they charge for such a spy saboteur? All the treats. And he deserved it too. Ha. Dog knew exactly what to do. My ex wanted to share custody of my dogs who I adopted when I was single, and had my last name laughing out loud. Mostly he just wanted to be able to still be in my life, but he did love the dogs too. My attorney said, well, if that's the only thing holding back an agreement, you should think about it, and I replied, it's a hard no. I will fight to the ends of the earth because they are mine. I won. I always thought it was adorable that when you take your pet to the vet that they give them your last name on the paperwork. The dog chose me laughing out loud. I divorced my husband and his dog destroyed his house and sadly wouldn't eat properly or do anything but stress until he came to live with me and my dog. But to be fair, my ex is terrible at pets. He just kept him outside all day and night with no interaction. The dog is a Great Dane and at the time it was me, my toddler and my dog in a little townhouse, but we gladly took in the big guy over keeping him alone and miserable with his actual owner. You can learn a lot about a person by how they treat animals. I think this is because animals can't talk back. It's one-way communication, which gives you good look into someone's behavior, because it's so on display. Needless to say, I live by this advice. Not anyone who thinks animals can't talk back has ever sat through one of my poodle's temper tantrums when I won't let her chase a cat. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.